All right, today we're going to talk about something that's really foundational for repairing relationships. It comes from these ancient teachings called Lojong, and it's a mindset that you need before you even get to the communication tools or the scripts for how to argue better. Okay, let's just dive right in. I mean, just think about that for a second. This question really gets to the core of everything we're talking about today. It suggests that when you're in a fight, the thing you're fighting about, well, it's usually just a symptom of a much deeper disconnection. We get so lost in the details, right? And we completely forget the bigger picture.
So, okay, what is really going on when we argue? I mean, it feels like it's about the dishes, doesn't it? Or maybe that sharp tone of voice they used. But what if the real fight, the actual conflict, is simply about us losing perspective?
And you know what's so powerful about this is just how simple it is. The first instruction isn't go fix it or figure out how to prove you're right. Nope. The very first step is just to train yourself to remember. It's a practice, something you build, not just a reaction you have in the moment. Okay, so remember what exactly? Well, these teachings give us 4 core reminders. You can think of them as preliminaries. They're designed to ground us, to pull us back from the edge when we're heated. Let's walk through them one by one. The first one is probably the most universal truth there is. Life is short. It just is. And when you really truly hold that in your mind, suddenly the argument you're having, it just doesn't feel quite as heavy, does it? And the second one kind of builds on that. Nothing is permanent. The fight you're in right now, not permanent. That intense feeling of anger, that's not permanent either. And, well, even the time we have together isn't permanent. Thinking about that can create a little bit of breathing room around the whole conflict. And this next one, man, it's all about consequences. Our actions, and especially the words we use when we're angry, they have a real impact. They stick around. They echo, Long after the fight is over, they're still there, kind of shaping the emotional vibe of the relationship. And that brings us to the fourth and final reminder, the one that really ties it all together. What we have, this connection, this shared life, is precious. And it is not guaranteed, and that is the perspective that just gets completely bulldozed in the heat of an argument. So what happens when we lose that perspective? Well, this is it, right here. A tiny irritation blows up and suddenly feels like a full-blown attack on who you are as a person. We get defensive, we build walls instead of staying open. And the whole point of the conversation changes. It's not about understanding anymore, is it? It's just about winning. Sound familiar to anyone? So this whole practice, it's not just about, being humble. It's about swapping out the entire engine that's driving you during a fight. And when you do that, it changes the entire conversation. This is the big shift right here. You go from asking this question that's all about ego, how do I win this? How do I prove I'm right? And you start asking a totally different question, one that comes from the heart. How do I act right now to protect this precious thing we have? That one change, it changes absolutely everything. Okay, so let's make this super practical. There's an exercise you can actually do that helps you connect with this deeper perspective. I like to think of it as a way to regret-proof how you talk to each other. Here's the question, and it's a powerful one. You ask yourself, or maybe you even ask each other, nice and gently, no interruptions, if I lost you tomorrow, what would I really regret not saying? When you speak from that place, all the anger and the defensiveness, it just kind of melts away, and you get to what's real. And, what might come up? It could be something as simple as appreciation, something you feel all the time but maybe don't say out loud nearly enough. Or maybe it's about just seeing them, acknowledging their effort, just saying, hey, I see how hard you're trying. That can be one of the most powerful ways to connect with someone, period. And sometimes it's the ultimate reassurance. It's a way of saying right in the middle of a storm that the foundation is still solid, that the choice you made to be together still stands. I still choose you. So that feeling you get, that thing that happens when you ask that question, there's actually a name for it. Emotional humility. It's basically the act of consciously remembering what's important before you let that knee-jerk reaction take over. And really, that brings us to the whole point of this entire practice. The goal isn't to never fight again. That's not realistic. The goal is to create the right conditions, the right environment for real repair to actually happen. So look, before you jump into breaking down communication techniques or analyzing attachment styles,
All that stuff is great, but these teachings say, wait, first things first. First, you have to train your heart to remember. Remember that this connection you have is meaningful, it's fragile, and it deserves to be treated with care.
And when you do that, what do you get? You get emotional safety. Think of it like fertile soil. It's the ground where everything else in the relationship can actually grow. It's a space where gratitude can actually compete with resentment, and where wanting to fix things becomes more important than needing to be right. So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Because really, strong relationships, they aren't built on being perfect or never having a fight. They're built on the practice of consistently remembering what actually matters. If this idea helped you see things a little differently, and you want to explore more ways to choose repair over regret, go ahead and subscribe to join us here at Resolve Together. We'd love to have you.